Ladies and gentlemen, there's no way that Trump will get indicted from the January committee run by Liz Cheney, who, by the way, hasn't condemned, horrendous acts, incendiary devices being thrown at buildings, destroyed buildings in New York, Michigan, Colorado, just the other day, and Wisconsin. And there are other cities, there are other states as well where this is taking place. And there's been nonstop harassment, intimidation of conservative groups, pro-life groups throughout the country. Now, it really doesn't matter what your viewpoint is. You should condemn the violence, right? You condemned it when it was Trump. Democrats and media have no problem painting Trump as this monster intent upon devouring democracy and undermining our way of life and destroying norms and traditions, or what do they say, trampling upon norms and traditions, and oh, this is a good one they used to say, he promotes distrust of democratic institutions. Meanwhile, AOC, former ESPN anchors, all of Hollywood, they want to do away with the Supreme Court. You have to understand something. It's like, if they don't get their way, they're going to stomp their feet, yell at the top of their lungs, probably take a gigantic poop in their pants, and throw it at people, and they just can't. If they don't get their way, it's game over. And they are the embodiment of everything they accuse Trump of, which they can't indict him of because they have no evidence that he actually did any of the things they accuse him of. So it's like, you might have a logical and rational argument. If you're a Hollywood celebrity, if you are a left-leaning pro-choice advocate, you might have a compelling argument. So now is the time in red states, because it's going to go back to the Supreme Court didn't stop anyone from doing anything. It's the states now. Don't blame the Supreme Court for what the states do, okay? And if you say, well, that's not fair because the Second Amendment was upheld, the Second Amendment is in the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. The medical procedure that's being discussed right now, it's not in there. They have to make an extreme leap of logic utilizing the 14th Amendment and other parts of the Constitution. It's like, no, that's not what Alito and the Supreme Court and Clarence Thomas and others ruled. And if you don't like those justices, blame yourselves, Democrats. I didn't see it's interesting. You have one Hollywood celebrity who says, "Don't listen to my music again. Don't ever listen to my music if you support the Supreme Court decision." It's like, well, you're not going to give people back their money if they buy your album, right? Look at the hypocrisy. But also, this musician never condemned the DNC for cheating Bernie Sanders, and Bernie Sanders would have, at that moment in time, I support Trump and DeSantis because I want a great economy and I don't want people mired in poverty, which is what, we're going into not only a prolonged recession, we could be flirting with the depression, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I started the Stock Market Crash channel. I predicted all of this in October of last year. Okay? I predicted all of this in October of last year. But, so in October of last year, I predicted in the comments section, you can see we're heading in with gas prices, energy prices, recession, stock market collapse, Bitcoin crash. It's all below in the description section. So hit subscribe to this channel and subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel and the Bitcoin Crash channel. I have segments up on there tomorrow for sure. I took a couple of days away from those channels for some reason, just the past couple of days. But it's like the hypocrisy is unbelievable. If they don't get their way, they're okay with intimidation, brute force, criminal activity, vandalism, destroying buildings. And we saw that, again, I agree with the cause 2 summers ago. But at the same time, I don't agree with $1 to $2 billion in property damage or 19 lives lost. You don't see these Hollywood celebrities or 14,000 arrests. You don't see that they're okay with criminal activity if they think it's moral. But there is no moral justification for $1 to $2 billion in property damage. And if you think there is, you don't want your property destroyed, do you? Even if it is insured. So, it's like, then you have one 90s rocker that wants to renounce his citizenship. It's like, you're not going to do, what does that matter if you go live in any country in the world. What does it matter? Go live in France or UK or wherever. Go now. It doesn't really matter. It actually helps conservatives. So, I'm not conservative on everything, but I'm conservative on a lot more things, especially the Second Amendment. Okay? Because when I was on the left, I went to the police, and you know the story. The police, I actually used the Twitter profile and filed a police report on the Twitter profile. And the policeman said, you know what? Second Amendment. Go ahead and take advantage of it because, you need to protect yourself. And I did. And so I'm a legal owner. Okay? Legal owner, it's actually in the Constitution, yeah. So that's why the Supreme Court, but see again, the Supreme Court is a conservative Supreme Court. Trump defeated Clinton. You couldn't, but Clinton, I wrote in the Huffington Post, The Hill and Salon, and I was on MSNBC and CNN saying Clinton will lose to Trump. That was a populist moment in American politics. There's going to be another populist moment coming up because we're heading into a prolonged recession, specifically because Democrats, media, unelected officials shut down economic activity 2 years ago, and there was a choice. Other countries, Sweden didn't do that. There was a choice. Yep. And so now we have a Pandora's box of economic problems. Diesel. Watch diesel. The price of diesel exhaust fluid. There's a shortage of that now. Diesel goes up to $8, $9 nationally. It's game over for the economy. But it's already game over for the economy. This has been a fantastic administration of Joe Mashed Potato Brains Biden. Really fantastic. He had a completely botched withdrawal that in the Doha agreement that Trump negotiated to reverse Liz Cheney's father's foreign policy. Okay. And he began his presidency. He began his presidency by trying to say, "Build back better." That didn't work out. And went to battle with the oil and gas industry and wanted to do away with fossil fuels. Then he miscalculated, of course, like Democrats always do. And then he found out that, hey, oil and gas are geopolitical issues, actually the most important geopolitical issues. So then he said, "Oh my goodness!" And then he flooded. They said, "Oh my goodness, the price of energy and gas and diesel and it's going through the roof. What do we do? Oh, we flood strategic oil reserves into the economy. There goes climate change." So make up your mind. You want to own it or you don't want to own it. If you wanted to combat climate change, then just say soaring gas prices and energy prices are the repercussions of our policies. But don't blame oil companies when you've made it extremely so difficult for them to operate that they're suing your administration. Oil and gas associations are suing your administration. And 14 states are suing Biden's administration also. But again, there's endless examples now of unrest, chaos, mayhem, which is exactly what the whole committee in January in Congress is about. Trying to accuse Trump of what Democrats are doing today and what they did 2 summers ago. So it's like there's no comparison. You have an entire media apparatus from Jimmy Kimmel to Hollywood celebrities and it's like, don't listen to my music again. Good. So then return the money. They did Major League Baseball did that. They said, oh my God. They wouldn't let Barry Bonds or McGwire or Sosa in the Hall of Fame. And I wrote in the Huffington Post, Barry Bonds should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He should. Because it's not like Major League Baseball didn't take the money from jerseys and from TV rights and from merchandise. How much money do you think Barry Bonds alone made Major League Baseball? Okay? Now, I love Hank Aaron. Okay? Hank Aaron is to me, my home run champ. But it doesn't matter. Barry Bonds should be first ballot Hall of Famer. Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. He made a big mistake. Okay? He's paid for it. But see, these people are duplicitous and they're disingenuous. They take the money. And then they say, don't listen to my music. But they give the money back. You got 20 years of people in red states buying your music. Go give the money back to them. Cut your net worth by 75% or half or whatever. But the record companies that these people work with will never do that in a million years. So then why say don't listen to my music? It's just like Democrats They scream, they stomp their feet. It's just unbelievable. But see, now their true colors are coming out. They are who they are, and the chaos, mayhem, unrest. It's like this is the pillar of our democracy. The Supreme Court is the pillar of our democracy, and AOC wants and others want to do away with it. You have former ESPN announcers wanting to do away with it. Give me your thoughts below. It's unbelievable, but they're never going to indict Trump now because the FBI is investigating left-leaning groups for things that Trump never did. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe.